Hey guys, Camfree15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with another ReZero episode review for you guys. And I don't know why this is all slow, so I'm going to change my video settings real quick. If things just show up. Okay. It's not the camera that I wanted, but whatever though. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, ReZero. I missed the last 2 weeks episode, the last two episodes. And obviously now that we're with ReZero, finally for season 3 is going on a little bit of a mini break. So I think next year in the springtime or something like that. I don't know how long they're gonna be gone. I'll have to look. I think it comes back in January or something, but they're taking a nice little break, and then we're gonna get, I guess, the back half of season 3, which I'm very excited for, where we left off. But yeah. But anyways, let's talk about the episode where Subaru gave a speech. I enjoyed that episode. I did like it. I will say, for my taste, it was probably my least favorite episode of the season. And I understand the message that Subaru was saying and everything in that speech. To me, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and if you're disappointed in my opinion, I don't really like the episode as much as the next one. It's still a good episode. It just didn't intrigue me as much. It was basically Subaru speaking out to the civilians that are still hiding within the city, and basically telling them, like, hey, stay calm. It's all gonna be all right. I'm gonna handle this situation and everything, and blah 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 blah. We'll take down the witch's cult. So, regardless, it was a great speech. Definitely understood it. It wasn't my cup of tea for an episode where we kind of just wasted a whole episode, in my opinion, just Subaru giving a speech to the public. But I understand the purpose of why they had to do it. And if you felt like you had a difference of opinion in terms of my takes in my opinion, well, you're more than welcome to voice your opinions. It wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't really prefer the episode. To me, I'm not trying to say the episode was a waste of an episode, but I'm like, okay, this whole episode was just about a speech. Very important because it further goes in depth of Subaru's character, and I do like Subaru as a character. That episode just wasn't a cup of tea, and I wanted to see more of the good shit. Anyways, um, the last episode before the anime returns definitely did have a damn good episode. And man, we get set up for where we're gonna go next. So we're back after after Subaru gave his speech. We're all meeting up and everything, and they're basically breaking down of what needs to happen next against the witch's cult. Now Otto goes in to say that he has the Tome of Wisdom, because we know that's one of the demands that the witch cult, or the witch cult, wants. They want the Tome of Wisdom. Now he says that he's got the tome. He's had the Tome of Wisdom. It shocks everybody, and he goes on to say, well, the reason why they want it so bad is it's because it's their prototype of what basically is taught within the witch's cult. Now he goes on to say when he acquired it, it ended up being burned up. So right now it's actually getting fixed by somebody he knows. That's why he ended up, at the start of the arc, he ended up going away for a bit, because he took the Tome of Wisdom to go get fixed and everything. So we have to wait till that gets fixed and everything. Now then all of a sudden Priscilla shows up with Liliana the Bard, and she's just like, oh, well, I'm here to do something and help out. I found it funny that her guard was basically like, oh, princess, and she's like, I can't believe you're doing all this stuff and everything. And he's even a little bit worried about the fact of hey, are you why are you getting involved in the fighting with the witch's cult? And she's like, what, you have no belief that I can take care of myself? So essentially Priscilla ended up making the mention of the reason why she attended this meeting is due to Subaru's words. Again, Priscilla, I think, is going to be, when we first met her, I really didn't like her. But now she's really grown on me, and it's like, okay, I see her now. I'm starting to like her a lot more. She's starting to become like up there in terms of girl characters, where I'm like, I'm simping. Now, personally, I still simp for Anastasia and Krush a lot more than Priscilla, but she's going up the ranks. I'm not lying. For people that want to know, probably my two favorites is probably Anastasia. I don't know. She just looks cute. And then Echidna, man, I would that stuff from season 2, man, I would have gave in. I would have folded if Echidna said everything, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, let's go. So that's the thing right then and there, right? Now, eventually Otto go and take Subaru, and they kind of have a talk. He talks about how he got the Tome of Wisdom a year ago in the Sanctuary, basically from the events of season 2. He talks about Roswald and the fact that he knows he got tricks up his sleeve and he's not really trustable, because we know, like, he's not trustable. And even though he's now kind of on Subaru and Amelia's side, I still don't think we can trust him, because obviously that dude's got ulterior motives for his own reasons to benefit him. So again, I still think we have to go watch out for him. Now, that's when Wilhelm shows up and he's like, hey, you know, Subaru, Krush actually wants to go see you and she wants to talk with you a bit. So we finally see Krush and the extent of the damage that she got from Capella, by basically getting the dragon blood throughout her system. And man, again, Krush is another ReZero female that I simp for, man. And I think I'm being honest. After I saw this scene, man, I'm like legitimately like, bruh. Again, I like Amelia, and I definitely do like Rem. But I can't lie, man. I can't lie. Now, maybe it's because this Krush has her feeling or her memories erased and everything. Because remember, she got her memories erased at the start of season 2. But it's like this, like, new persona, Krush and Subaru, and their relationship. I'm just like, I like Amelia. And I know probably at the end of this series, I don't know if the series is, I think the series is still ongoing. I don't know if it's concluded. I think it is. But I still feel that, you know, Subaru's going to end up by the end of the series hooking up with Amelia, and Amelia eventually at some point will discover her feelings for Subaru. Because she says later in this episode, she has no feelings right now, and she knows that because she's not expressing those feelings, or she's not reciprocating those feelings back, it's hurting Subaru. But we all know endgame relationship for Subaru is going to be Amelia. It's not going to be Rem. But listen, man, this new persona of Krush, I don't know how she'll react when Krush goes back, gets her memory back, and everything after Gluttony's taken down. But, like, I'm sorry. This new persona of Krush and Subaru, man, I just got to be honest. I ship it, man. I ship it. Like, Subaru in this new, and the new persona of Krush, it's just, and like, these two clearly have some sort of chemistry. I'm like, is she like liking it? I'm like, is my girl falling for him? Like, because it makes sense. Like, he's done all these things, and he's basically told her that he would help her get her memories back and everything. And I'm like, I know Felix got feelings for Krush and everything, but it's like, this new persona of Krush definitely, like, I'm sorry, I gotta say something, but she looks and she appears like she in love with Subaru. Like, she was calling him Subaru-sama in this episode. And I'm just like, oh, you out in the Subaru-sama? Oh, that means a whole nother type of phrase. That means you must like him. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Obviously, Subaru and Krush are not going to be endgame, but the new Krush, man, from what I've seen of their interactions and even what I saw before, though, you know, it's like, listen, I'm like, bruh, she clearly has some chemistry, and clearly it seems like deep down she's falling for him. Now, well, that will look like it's gonna get Felix upset, but Jesus, Subaru may have like freaking, I don't know if she'll have these same feelings or whatever when she gets her memories back, and if she'll have any recollection of what she did after she lost her memories. But it's like, My boy Subaru could be having like three girls legitimately all over him. Like he's gonna have Amelia at some point. Clearly, we know Rem is in love with him. And then it's like, well, based on if whenever, however Crush feels when she gets her memories back, and if she does have those memories, is it the thing of like, is she going to like fall for him too? I don't know. Man is having a little mini harem. He's got freaking Amelia, Ram, and now probably Crush is added. But you just see how infected she is, and it's like her whole like half of her fucking face is all down there. There's like blood all over her bed and everything. It's probably because of the dragon blood and it affecting her body. I'm just like, fudge. She got effed up even worse than Subaru. Like Subaru only got his leg affected, but it's like half her body, is affected. She was straight up looking like freaking Two-Face from freaking Batman. I'm like, oh man, it's brutal. Subaru ends up like touching her finger or her hand essentially, and he feels his like shooting pain. And next thing you know, even though all like the dragon's blood pain transfers to his hand, and it looks just like his freaking arm or his leg. Crush's arm heals up and looks like it's back to normal. And then he does it with her face and he endures the pain after that. And her face is back to normal. Now, she doesn't unwrap the bandage where her eye's at. I could only imagine what her freaking eye looked like under that crap, man. As they clearly had that covered for some reason. Maybe in the light novel, they actually showed what her eye looked like without the bandages. Clearly, I'm like, I don't know. For anybody that's a light novel reader, please let me know if like they actually did show that, or probably, well, actually not, because the light novel is just words or whatever. But they could have maybe shown it or whatever, or expressed it in the words of like how she looked like or whatever. But it's like that eye must have been all messed up. But even though everything's fixed, she still has the cover on now. Subaru is willing to go even more to go help her, and looks like he's willing to give up mostly his body to try to get her back to normal and everything. And she's like, Subaru, you just need to stop this. I don't want you to hurt yourself. And Subaru's like, it's okay. Like, I don't care about the pain. She's like, no, I don't want you to feel and have this pain and have all this suffering, because she's basically talking like, listen, you're keeping us going on in this situation right now, and if you fall, we have no reason to continue on. And she basically tells him like, look, just tell me, leave everything to me and I'll be okay. And Subaru reluctantly, he's like, okay, I will, and just leave everything to me, I'll take care of everything. And she's like, thank you. And it's like, she gave that look and she said his name, and I'm like, she's simping for this man? I'm like, clearly she must like this guy. I'm like, she clearly likes him. Like, we remember when Princess carried her a few weeks ago? She felt some sort of way by that. I'm telling you, man, I think Crush is in love with Subaru, man. I'm sorry, Phyllis. I think Subaru just took your girl. Obviously, Subaru's gonna have no interest in Crush, but honestly, realistically, I ship Crush and Subaru. I ship it. Again, it's so funny that these other girls have like better connections with Subaru, and obviously he's gonna choose Amelia because he loves her, because that's like the girl he saw at first sight. But it's like, Jesus, man. Like, I'm not saying you can't give up your first crush, but when you got these other girls more than likely basically professing your love for them, it's like ninja. You might as well just hook up with them as opposed to Amelia, because she's still talking like, I don't know what he feels, and I don't reciprocate the feelings back. But I'm just saying, I'm like, I bet you deep down this new Crush is probably in love with Subaru. Makes sense with all the interactions we've seen so far in little bits of season 2 and then all of season 3. Clearly. So that's the thing. Now Wilhelm actually brings him over, and they actually have a talk, and they talk about the witches cultists that, the members with basically, I won't say it, but basically they were wearing the robes of a racist group and everything, but black, right? And we basically get confirmations like those people are like dead people from the dead. And we later find out like they were basically brought back from like basically corpse magic, essentially. And one of those dead people is actually his wife. Um, and that sucks. And he goes into obviously his breakdown about, everything in regards to his wife, about Subaru. And he tells Subaru, he's like, look, please don't tell Reinhardt about this. I don't want him to feel burdened by this. And we even get more revelation of what led to her death is the fact that, she had the divine protection thing that Reinhardt has, and it got basically taken away from her, or the ability transferred from her, the divine ability transferred to Reinhardt, and she basically lost that ability when she was fighting the white whale, and that's what ultimately led to her death. And it's like, damn, she had this ability because she was just like the sword, she's like the swordsmith, like divine protection and everything, and she's going against like one of the great mobbies, right? And she lost that ability because it transferred over to Reinhardt, because now he ended up becoming the divine protection, the swordsman of divine protection, and because of it, she lost that ability. She ended up dying, and it sucks. And you can clearly see like it's eating at Reinhardt, not Reinhardt, eating at Wilhelm, and he's like, she'll be coming for me at some point, and I'll do whatever it's my power to basically essentially lay her to rest for good. So that's the thing right then and there. Very sad story. Anyways, we get the last bit of the episode where they basically talk about what's going on. So we see that Priscilla and Liliana, they'll take on Sirius, Raph, because Liliana actually has like a divine protection ability as well. And obviously with her music, they'll be able to control any other surrounding civilians from going out and raging and doing everything that obviously that happens. So she's clearly protected, so she won't get affected by Sirius. And with Liliana doing that, even Priscilla won't get affected. So Priscilla is going to fight Sirius. That's going to be very freaking interesting. Can't wait to looking forward to that fight. Wilhelm and Garth will actually go take on the Witch of Lust, Capella. But they'll obviously have to deal with the witch cultist members that came back from the dead. And Subaru, now at first Garth was like, but I want to go with you, and basically Subaru's like, don't you got a score to settle? And that's the fact that, our boys got to get revenge on what happened to Mimi, right? And then Subaru and Reinhardt will actually take on Regulus and save Amelia, while Julius and Ricardo will take on Gluttony. And essentially have it to where Anastasia and Felix, they'll stay behind in the Capitol building. I just have a sneaking suspicion at some point there's going to be a plot twist where they end up potentially getting in danger, because clearly it's like, okay, yep, something's going to happen. And maybe that's when Cruz will get involved and she'll try to protect them. So clearly that makes a thing. And that's where we get left off there. So then we cover to the wedding scene, or the wedding ceremony. And basically, I'm just like, now when I was watching this, like, oh, we're doing this right now. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't know we're doing this. Now obviously, we have it to where Subaru and Reinhardt show up later to help. And essentially Amelia's basically telling Regulus like, and Regulus like, oh man, you look so beautiful, I'm so happy to get this wedding going on, right? Although all of his wives are there and everything. And basically Amelia's like, well, before we get this thing going on, there's actually some things that I needed to tell you or ask you about. And basically Regulus is like, oh yeah, okay, sure, I'll let you. But also, there's some things that I wanted to let you know too. One of the things is, I don't want you to smile anymore after we get married. So this man straight up is like, you can't even smile. And then he basically goes through the rundown of saying like, yeah, you can't do this, you can't show no anger, you can't show no joy, you can't be sad, you can't show goddamn any emotions. You basically got to be a robot with what these other wives essentially are, just like dead-faced people, right? And essentially Amelia's like, why do I got to do all that, right? Like, why should I do that? And like, and she talks about to Regulus like, essentially rejecting him. And she's just like, you see, marriage is supposed to be a happy thing for people. Like, you're supposed to get married because you love somebody, right? So why are you telling me that I can't do all this and everything? Isn't that like a sign to show you that you actually don't love me? I'm like that. And Regulus is just like, dude, I don't fucking care. Just shut up. let's get married, please. Just shut up. I don't care. And she goes on and she brings up Subaru, and he's like, wait, Subaru? That's a man's name. And he's like, the fuck are you trying to talk about another man at our wedding about? I'm sorry. And she goes on to talk about, like, about love, and how the fact that with Subaru, he calls her Amelia-ton. And she knows, like, that means a lot to him, or that means a lot to her, and that by him calling her that means, like, he views her as somebody special to him. And she goes through the rundowns like, I know that he loves me, and even though I don't reciprocate the same feelings back, maybe one day I will, but I understand he loves me, and I'm making him suffer and go through all this turmoil because I don't reciprocate the same feelings back. But I understand when he calls me Amelia-ton, that means it's something, he calls me something that means it's something special. And when he calls me Amelia, that means he has something special he wants to tell me. And it's absolutely hilarious because freaking, you just have it as Amelia's going on her tangent. This man regular is getting all sorts of pissed off. He's like, oh, her talking about a goddamn another woman or man. And then he was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not, if you want to have all these selfish desires, I ain't gonna freaking marry you. I ain't gonna have no damn selfish ass wife. So guess, and it looks like he's gonna attack her and maybe try to kill her right then and there. But then that's when Subaru and Reinhardt show up. They kick the door open, hit him. He goes flying. He's like, boom, gets blown back. Subaru's doing his Subaru. Subaru's doing his typical thing where he's talking about, like, geez, why'd you, like, man, what you kicking the door makes me look like a joke and everything. And it was so cool to see Amelia's face light up. I'm just like, you say you don't love him, Amelia, you don't reciprocate those feelings, but the way you freaking, I'm like, man, that look where you're like, I'm just like, girl, you might as well just say you love him. I'm like, her face lit up immediately the moment he showed up to save her. And I'm just like, man, I'm like, Amelia fucking capping about her saying that she doesn't reciprocate the feelings she has for Subaru. Her face lit the fuck up. Like, she was legitimately happy that he showed up. And then basically, Regulus shows up and is like, who the fuck are you guys? And they basically say, I'm Reinhardt, blah, 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 blah. I'm Subaru, Amelia's knight, blah, 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 blah. Now, hold on a quick second, guys. But, yeah, and that's where the season concludes for now, because, they're going on a little bit of a break. Honestly, good. You want to make sure you put as much resources and give these animators at White Fox a break before they got to come back and reanimate the back half of the season. But the first half was great. This is obviously a good setup to what we're getting. Definitely looking forward to seeing where the fights go on. I hope no tragic shit happens. But it's ReZero. Usually something bad typically happens. But I think the one interesting thing too is going to see how each of the individual fights are going to go. Now, right now, with Reinhardt there, I do feel safe that Subaru can find a way to pull it off and defeat Greed or Regulus. And especially with Reinhardt there and how OP he is. Now, as for, like, I think the group that probably scares me the most right now in terms of, like, a group that probably gives me the most death flags, it's probably Wilhelm. And I feel like Wilhelm is... I don't know. They've really focused a bit on Wilhelm and everything, and I really feel like there is death flags his way. And the fact that he revealed, like, one of those, corpses that got brought back was my wife, and I feel like saw that, and I'm like, and then, as he's explained to even Reinhardt in the meeting, like, they called me the demon swordsman for a reason and everything, right? And I'm just like, they're setting him up to probably sacrifice himself or maybe die, because it makes sense, especially with the fact of his wife and everything. It sets everything up to where it's like, he's probably gonna go down and take down his wife, and he's gonna go down doing it. Like, that's the one group that I feel like, okay, this might be the group that might have some problems and gives me the most flags death flags available. And hopefully Subaru and Reinhardt can finish up with, Regulus fast enough so then they can be able to back up Julius and Wilhelm. But I 100% believe we're gonna get a moment where Wilhelm's going to probably die. And they just been setting it up like he's going to die. He's gonna sacrifice his life because the death flags are there. The death flags are there. And I think this will also be more character development for Subaru in terms of like, do you want to die and restart your progress? And it's like, realistically, we still don't know, because since Subaru hasn't died, we don't know where a checkpoint mark is. For all we know, the next checkpoint mark, if he were to die, the checkpoint mark could be like shit, dating way back to the freaking, the first encounter with Capella. Now, I did watch a review, like, when the episode initially came back, the reviewer did say, like, I think, like, we should have a checkpoint at least to the point after, like, Subaru saying the speech he said, because there ain't no way you're gonna have Subaru say that speech, die, he resets back before the speech even happened, and he has to rephrase the speech all over again, because it would make absolutely no sense. And I definitely do agree, like, but it would be kind of a plot twist of like, say, hey, he dies in this run, but he does get set back to like before they first met Capella. Now, if that happens, he can find ways to be like, okay, maybe I know this is what Capella can do, so maybe this is a way where me and Krush don't end up getting affected by the dragon's curse, right? The dragon's blood curse. And that's another thing, like, we see how after he absorbed the dragon curse from Krush and they did the transfer thing, his hand's all effed up just like his leg is. I wonder is if they take out Capella, will his like arm go back to normal and his leg go back to normal and look like regular, or is he just stuck with this? Don't answer that in the comment section for me, because I don't want to get spoiled. But it seems like this thing could be like a permanent thing, and he's just like fucking his body up essentially, right? But it'll be interesting too. Like, will the same rules apply like with gluttony? Like, if you defeat gluttony, the peoples who lost their memory by gluttony, their memories will come back. So the same will be for Capella, where you kill her and you defeat her, the dragon's curse is lifted. Don't know, and stuff like that. And I wonder if there's like a cure to fix that and get even Subaru's arms back to normal, because seemingly him by touching Crush made her body parts go back to normal and look like her old self. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. And again, I guess another group that's also giving me death flags is definitely the Anastasia and Phyllis groups, because I feel like it completely sets up that there's gonna be a witch cultist member that actually goes there to the Capitol building to try to take them down. But Krush is there, and I feel like she'll do the best she can to fight. But we'll definitely see where it's gonna go. I feel like we definitely could be getting like one more like which cultist member, Sin of Archbishops showing up at the Capitol building where Anastasia and Felix are out, are at. So that interrupts the whole thing, because they made that point. Also, I'm like, yeah, I'm staying here too. Now, Priscilla's bodyguard essentially could be there too, because it seems like it's just gonna be Priscilla and Liliana that goes to take down Sirius, but. Very intrigued to see where the back half of the season is going to go when it returns, but might as well get this review out, better late than never, and things like that. But anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more ReZero content or any other anime or manga content I upload to the channel and things like that. But till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day, night, or this video. Till then, guys, peace.